Well, good. It's still morning. Good morning, guys. Chummy G, middle-aged millennial, and we're trying to get the light ready here. So let me just make a bit of a move so we can get a little more comfy. So we've got what and who do we have? We have today Maddie. It's our physiological day, and g'day Pete. So Peter Rouse has also joined, and sorry, doing the multitask thing. How rude. Okay, sure. What was I going to say? Battery about to die. Oh, that's a shame, Pete. Well, at least it's only your battery that's going to die. So today we have, and waiting, Matt Atanasio. We've gone from one gym to another, but we're also going to do a session from Maddie's home at some stage because, as you know, not everybody has equipment, not everybody has access to a gym, or maybe it's one of those days you're actually going to do it just at home where you're doing a bit of a workout. But we're going to be specific on this one around heart health. After having done the session this week, the first one of probably a two-part series, it seems, with Peter on what you can do to improve your cardio strength, resilience situation, and reduce risk. So we're going to bring Maddie on now and seeing, okay, well, what does that mean then from a exercise point of view? Because there's a number of things you can do, and Peter started looking at this from a supplemental point of view primarily, and we sort of understand a bit about what goes wrong in let's say, well, the things that are chronic that start to create issues for the heart. But once you start to clean it up from a diet point of view, hey Maddie, we also need to get it stronger. How you doing, man? Let me get my earphones. Sorry, back in a sec. Entertain the crowd.
Oh, what's up, everybody? Hopefully you're ready for some full body exercise to pump up the heart a little bit, work the respiratory system, get your heart healthy. Nothing better than a good, strong heart to handle your day. As the hostess of the mostest,
I'm just
it's
about
ready.
back.
I wonder if.
All right.
Did you just do some burpees?
Yeah, I did.
Of course, man. Listen, it's a great exercise when done properly. But anyway,
When done properly.
I'm ready to go.
All right, good.
What's
So
that?
am I. Yeah, when done properly being the big one. I need to check when I'm doing mine properly. Maybe we'll look at that one day. Maybe I'll have to hit the gym, and you can watch me. Give me a session.
Well, we're going to go over that, but I want to apologize for the goofiness here. I got these a couple weeks ago, and I went to take them off the other night like this, and it snapped right in the middle. So it looked like I got bunny ears. It's kind of funny, actually. So bear with the humorous headphones that kind of look weird.
You and Pete, like your big cup sort of phones.
Yeah,
are
but he's got
they
hair.
noise cancelling? He's got hair. Whatever.
The good part about these,
yeah.
well, what happens is this. Because, first of all, they don't have a microphone. But what happens is because your voice is coming through here,
yeah,
in the phone, we're not going to get a reverb because your voice isn't coming out of the phone, which is right next to my microphone on the phone, and going back into the phone where people are hearing you twice.
Right.
Because it's in my ear. So all they're hearing is just me.
Right.
So
yeah.
when I bought these, I'm like, these don't have a microphone. But it's okay because I talk loud enough.
Oh, they
don't have a microphone.
Oh, so I'm hearing you through your phone.
The phone's microphone is picking me up, but they're hearing you and I differently because this takes the phone out of there and put it in my ear.
Right.
Yes. Technology, man. I love it.
There it is.
So,
yeah, okay.
It was one of those good mistakes.
All right, we've got everybody coming on board here. We've got Owen, we've got Diane, we've got
awesome
Mr. Rouse also in the house. We've got, Stephen Head. Okay, cool. So people are joining. So heart health, Maddie. I know you, and
Yeah,
partly my fault because you had to go to another gym because I got held up. Great acoustics. Okay, nice. So firstly, can you see me properly? Because I got dark output coming out of the phone here.
I
Am
can
I
see
clear enough?
you. Uh,
All right. Okay, you can
I
hear
can
me.
see you.
See me.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. So, heart health. We had a session earlier this week with Pete. We
Yeah.
also did some toxic stuff or some toxin stuff off the cuff with Anne yesterday, and
Mm-hmm.
was trying to angle that also towards heart health. I mean, we've got a couple of big series running right now. Ty Bollinger with his third Truth About Cancer series as he goes through Asia, and Mark Hyman's just finishing off his free week.
Awesome.
Beautiful man he is, out
Awesome.
of the Cleveland Clinic on broken brain. And it's
Yep.
really funny how
Mm-hmm.
everything connects, the heart, stomach, and everything connecting up into the brain. But not only is it we kind of think that it's like a pyramid where the brain, almost like a corporate structure, says, this is what everybody, this is what's going to happen. But there's a dialogue. There's a whole lot of stuff that comes back up, right? And a lot of that being heart
Mm-hmm.
related as well. So, so it's been a big week. Now, if you're starting to make the right choices in food, maybe you're
Yeah.
starting to recover well in your brain and
Mm-hmm.
sleep and whatever else, and you're starting to lighten the load on your system. We've got the engine room here, sort of around the solar plexus, sort of just a bit to the left, called the heart. And you kind of think, I mean, you could be excused for thinking that you're going to start doing some exercise, especially intense stuff, but it's not going to be good for your heart. And in some cases, it's not. But
Right.
exercise is so important for heart health.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So just wondering, if you've got a view on that and what we could do if you're an exec and you're traveling or you're just someone that hasn't got equipment, so different versions of how we can improve our cardiovascular health.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things that we have to sort of get out of our head is that I'm not saying you shouldn't join gyms. I'm not saying you shouldn't be part of programs. But one of the biggest things I think people who have a tendency to put off exercise is they look for reasons why not. And honestly, as I've always said this gift, this body is one of the greatest tools you could use. And you could do a whole cardiovascular workout with just your body. So you don't need any equipment. But the key here is this. If you were to look at a lot of the studies over the last 10, 20, 30 years about cardiovascular health, universal principles are basically saying that if you can do exercise where you're bringing your heart rate up to a specific area, let's just say 50 to 65% of your maximum heart rate, and that would be sort of a beginner or a low level, and you kept it there for a good 10 to 20 minutes, 2 or 3, 4 times a week, you'll see some cardiovascular benefits. What does that mean? That means that your heart, which pumps blood and oxygen throughout the body and nutrients, but pushes blood out to the body via the arteries, okay? And then combine that with the respiratory system and the musculoskeletal system. So you take those 3 systems and you put them together where you're trying to increase your work capacity, the ability to do work for an extended period of time, where the heart has to work at a little bit higher level. There's been huge benefits to the everyday person where they can work out for 10 to 20 minutes minimally at a 50 to 65% of their maximum heart rate. And what is the maximum heart rate? There's sort of a basic formula. If you were to take, there was this huge Carvonin, they called it, method of coming up with your heart rate, maximum heart rate. I think it's just a basic one. It's 220 minus your age times 50 to 65%. So let's say you take 220 minus, let's say 40, right? So that's 180, right? So 50 to 60% of that is the heart rate you would try to get up to doing your exercise and stay there for 10 to 20 minutes, right? If you were going to do something called sustained cardiovascular exercise. So if you we call it LISS, low intensity sustained workout.
Okay.
It's basically slow and steady. Now, the benefit of that exercise.
It's sort of like the zone 2?
Here's the thing. If you're looking for cardiovascular benefit, you have to understand that the heart has to pump faster than it normally does, right? To get stronger.
Okay.
so that
Okay,
it pumps out more blood per pump, right? So
more efficient.
what? Yes, it's more efficient, so that your heart doesn't have to go so fast to get so much blood throughout your body. So
Right.
typically, 48 to 60, give or take, on the person, resting heart rate is pretty decent. Fair to say,
Right.
depending on the
Yep.
person.
Right.
Okay, so here's the bottom line. If you can maintain their heart up at that 50 to 65% as a beginner, low level,
Right.
steady state,
Yep.
cardiovascular exercise, where what you're doing is you're using oxygen for energy. What that means
Right.
is that you're not going so fast and so hard that you don't have the ability to use oxygen for energy anymore because you're out of breath. So what you're
Right.
doing is you're using oxygen along with fat, the fatty
Yep.
acids and the fat combined, the oxygen and the fat together, being able to utilize the fat for energy. Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
If I'm going to do slow and steady for extended
Yeah.
periods of time, 10,
Yeah.
20, 30, 40 minutes, maybe even up to 60, slow and steady, you're probably going to burn more body fat that way at that time, especially if you have low sugar stores, than
Right.
you would going all out, what we would call high intensity interval training.
Right.
I'll explain the difference.
Yeah.
So if you do low intensity and slow and steady for extended periods of time, where your
Yep.
heart rate is up at that range, what we're trying
Which
to do is
range?
we're trying
Which
to,
range?
well, if you go 50 to 65 as a beginner, and then as you get better, you bring it up to 65 to 75% of your maximum heart rate, maybe even
Of the
85.
maximum heart rate.
But the key is this: how long can you keep it there? So if you said I'm going to keep it there for at between 70 to 80% of the maximum heart rate. So let's say your
Yep.
maximum heart rate is whatever it is, and that 70, 80% was 125 to 150. Let's just say.
Right. Right.
Can you keep it there for that 20 to 30 or 40 minutes?
Right.
The goal is to build yourself up. And what you would do is you would continuously exercise without stopping. That's
Right. So
slow and
long,
steady.
slow and steady, sort of
Right.
endurance stuff like I do.
Right. Yes, that would be walking, swimming, jogging, rowing, biking,
Okay.
cross-country skiing.
Okay.
Now, that's low intensity, slow and steady, where you're utilizing oxygen for your energy source combined with fatty acids in the fat. Now, the other way to work on your cardiovascular health would be high intensity interval training, where you're
Right.
combining exercises. Let's say you wanted to do 12 to 15 to 20 minutes of cardiovascular exercise. What does that mean?
Right.
I want to go between 10 seconds to 60 seconds of maximal effort, or at least 75 to 85, 90% of maximum effort. Not 50 to 65, 70, 75%, up to 85, 90%. So let's say my maximum heart rate is what it is, and I want to get my heart rate range between, let's say, 75 to 85% is between 140 and 160, right?
Right.
Can I
Right.
keep it at 140 to 160 for 60 seconds and then lower it down to, let's say, 100? And then do an exercise, bring it back up for 60 seconds, all out, and then bring it. So high interval, high intensity, and then
Yep.
bring it back down. And then bring it back
Right.
up, and then bring it back down. So now, instead of, because you can't go high intensity for too long because you're going to run out of oxygen, your heart's not going to be able to handle it, your lungs aren't going to be able to handle it, you're going to use more sugar for energy.
You need more rocket fuel. So you can't use coal like fat where you got to take time to sort of, and it's going to be slow burning. This is going to be rocket fuel now. Right.
Right. So if you've ever heard of the word anaerobic and aerobic, it's a big difference. Aerobic means with oxygen. That's the slow and steady. Anaerobic means without oxygen. That's the high intensity interval training, where what you're doing is you're raising your heart rate up to that level, then you bring it back down. Then you bring it back up, and then you bring it back down. Now, most people can't do that for more than 20, 25 minutes, maybe 30. If you go all out, let's say you do 45 seconds all out. You rest for 45 seconds, bring your heart rate back down, go back up 45 seconds all out, and your heart rate's in that 140 to 160 range.
Yeah.
You can't do that for too long, because it's just you're using a lot of sugar and you get tired. And so what I'm saying is those two types of cardiovascular training, where it's extended periods of time, pretty much nonstop, are different fuel systems. On one hand, the slow and steady, the slow and steady is oxygen and fat, but the after effect isn't as beneficial in burning calories as the high
Right.
intensity interval training where you go up intensity and then back down, then up intensity and back down. So an example of that, let's say you're on a track at a school, right? And you you sprint or you run fast on the straightaway, and then you walk the turns. You run really fast on the straightaway, and then you walk the turns. That's sort of what we call high intensity. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. We've got some stuff here from Stephen Head, LSD, which I think means long, slow distance.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we've got 1-to-1 work-rest ratio is pretty brutal. Oh, yeah, 45 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go, let's say, for example, if you do 30 seconds of work with 30 seconds of rest, but you go all out for that 30 seconds, raise your heart rate up, and then you lower it back down. That's tough. So what we typically do in the beginning is go 30 seconds of work at whatever pace you can, at the heart rate you want, and then you double the time of rest until you start to build up. So you go 30 seconds of work, 60 seconds of rest. Once you get more physically fit and you can handle that load, then you drop your rest down to maybe 45 seconds.
Right.
At the same intensity. And then you drop it down to 30 seconds. So over a 3 or 4 or 5, 6 week period, you're going from 60 seconds rest to 45 to 30 at the same intensity. Does that make sense?
Okay. So you're shortening the rest gaps.
Yes. Because what's happening is that 60 seconds of rest you got in the first 2, 3, 4 weeks is now becoming too easy. That 30 seconds is too easy. Now you got to lower that rest period to 45 seconds. And when you get good at that, your heart rate can't, then you got to bring it to 30 seconds. And now, so here's the thing. How do you do your heart rate? How do you test your heart rate? So let's say I want to go between 120 seconds and 135 seconds. 120 beats to 135 beats. That's the area. Let's just say that's the area you want to be in.
Yep.
You could wear those heart rate monitors around your chest, right, with the watch. Okay.
Yep.
You could wear these what you have. You could wear the iWatch. You could actually do it by yourself. What I do is I take my 2 fingers right by my outside my eye, and I slide it down to this groove right here, and lightly with my finger, right in between this kind of groove here, I put my finger lightly and I feel the pulse. And what I do is I look at my watch for 15 seconds, count how many beats, multiply by 4, and that gives me the beats per minute.
Okay.
So if I get, let's say I get 30 beats per minute, right? That's pretty high, right? That's 180, right? I think
for 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So
let's
say I get 15. Yeah. So if I get 15 beats, right?
Yeah.
In 10 seconds. 6 times 15 is 90 beats.
Yeah.
Right? So the goal is you could go 15 seconds and multiply by 4. You can go 10 seconds and multiply by 6. It's your choice. You go 20 seconds and multiply by 3. But count how many beats. That's your heart rate. That makes sense? So you don't have to have the heart rate monitor. You don't have to have the iWatch. You could do it yourself. So that's how you take your heart rate.
Okay.
Yes.
So we've got Stephen here saying lightly so as not to. Oh, he's got. Hang on. I default to 2-to-1 rest work, and then lightly so as not to trigger baroreceptors. Baroreceptors. Is that right?
I'm not reading it.
All right.
I'm just,
anyway. Okay.
Well, here's the thing. If I push too hard, it may have an effect on the heart rate, right? So I don't want to press hard on just enough to feel it. You could also do it here in between your wrist bone. You can feel your heart rate there too.
Oh yeah, around the wrist.
Yeah. So that's how you can test your heart rate. So you have the watches, you have the piece here, and then of course here. So what you want to do is you could do long and steady. If you're at a gym and you have access to, let's say, a bike, a rower, an elliptical machine, a Stairmaster, you could do. Let's say you have 30 minutes. Right?
Yeah.
If you're the type of person that likes to do 30 minutes of steady state on one machine, God bless you.
Yeah.
I'd be bored out of my mind.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I've heard that like doing the treadmill and just doing that sort of a thing is actually not that great for getting rid of like visceral fat, for example. I know we're talking about heart health at the moment, but the long and slow isn't good for the fat around the stomach or something. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Well, let's put it this way. I would say a combination of what you eat has a lot to do with that, but also and maybe doing a fasted, slow and steady is beneficial. I've seen many people benefit from a fast where they exercise at the end of the fast, where they're utilizing more fat for energy in a slow and steady cardio type of situation,
Right.
where they can
It's
go
what
on
I
a
tend to do a
treadmill.
lot of. Right.
Yeah.
Because I won't
If,
eat and I'll go and do my work, go and do my slow run on the beach.
yeah, and if you're
Yeah.
if you're on a end of a fast, it's a great thing to do.
Yeah.
But in the end, your goal is to say, okay, improve my cardiovascular health. If I need to do a minimum of 10 to 20 minutes nonstop, I could do one machine for that period of time. I could do
Yep.
2, 3, or 4 pieces of machinery.
Yep.
I could go
Yep.
from a bike to a rower to a treadmill. I could do 10
Right.
minutes each. I could do 8 minutes each. But as long as I keep my heart rate up and I'm watching it, I'm testing it, and I keep it up at that level for that amount of
Yep.
time, you can mix and match any exercise you want on machine-wise or at a gym. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
As long as you keep that heart rate up in the range that you want it at
Yeah.
for that period of time. So let's say you walk in the gym. I got 30 minutes. Do a 5-minute warm-up, do
Right.
20 minutes, and then a 5-minute cool-down. There's your 30 minutes.
Okay. And what are you doing
Right?
for those warm-ups and cool-downs, for example? You just...
Well, you could, let's say, for example, you could do let's say you're on a treadmill, right? You could
Yeah.
start slow and pick up the pace, right?
Right.
And look at
Yeah.
your heart rate, right? And over
Yeah.
about a 5-minute period, you're gradually picking up the pace to where you notice that your heart rate is getting up to that level. Now,
Right.
at that 5-minute mark, if your heart rate's about, let's say you want to be between 120 and 130, right? Let's say
Yeah.
about that 5-minute mark, you're at about 120. Stay at that pace or go a little bit faster and
Yep.
keep it there, right? And then once you get to that pace that you want to be at, 120 to 130, I'm just making up numbers for example. Keep it
Yep.
there for that 20 minutes, and then eventually, once your 20 minutes are up, and you're on the same machine, now back off the pace slowly but surely for 5 minutes to gear it down. So your heart rate goes
Okay.
from 130, 135, bring it back down to 100, and get it below 100, and then you've cooled down. Does that make sense?
Right. Yep. Okay. So we got here Stephen saying stairwells rule.
Totally.
Stairwells rule.
Ah.
There we go.
Listen, stairmaster, stair climbers, or an actual
Yeah.
stairs in a house is freaking
Yeah.
awesome.
Ah.
I have my clients, so I love running up and down stairs.
Oh,
Tremendous.
wow. Okay.
I run up and down stairs straight up, sideways, diagonally, crawl up,
Yeah.
sideways. It's so many. It's fun. It's so
Right.
much fun. It's great. I love it.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
So-
we got those
so
at
you
the
can
gym.
have- you
like
can-
the gym I go to, they've got that sort of climber that's there.
Uh-huh.
Sort of a stair climber.
He-
Yeah. Okay.
The stair climber. They used to call it the gauntlet years ago. I don't know if it's still called the gauntlet. Oh yeah, it's,
Right.
because it's stairs that just do this, right? And
Right.
it's fun. The key is
Yeah.
can you do it without holding on?
Ah. Okay.
Right.
Oh, a bit more stability stuff. Okay.
Well, you bring in your hip stability and strength more. You bring in your core more, and you
Right.
utilize your whole body. So that's a great way to do it. So you
Right.
can combine any exercise. So let's say you wanted to do 2 to 3 times a week of slow and steady, right? You could combine any 2 or 3 or 4 exercises together:
Yep.
rower, treadmill, elliptical, and whatever else, and just do them together, right?
Right.
As long as you're maintaining the heart rate where you want it to be for that length of time. That's the goal.
Yep. Right.
Now, if you are not at a gym, let's do some stuff that you want to do for, let's say, because let's put it this way. If you're not at a gym and you want to do slow and steady, you could go out to a track, right? And you could walk around there for 20
Yeah.
30 minutes with your heart rate up. You could jog. You could ride your bike,
Yeah.
right? You could go you could go hiking if you wanted
Yeah.
to. I take my clients, we go to a park and we hike and we run up and down hills and have some fun and and that's great cardiovascular workout too. So there's multiple things you can do. Now let's say you're in your hotel room or you're at home and you don't have anything other than your
Right.
body and maybe let's say, remember these? Let's say you have these.
Ah, there they are
Right, this
again.
is- yes. So let's say you have just these and your body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
You could do so many things, but let's say for example we're going to do a high intensity interval training workout, right?
Right. Yep.
Okay. You could say take 4 or 5 exercises
Right.
and do them for 30 to 45 to 60 seconds, depending on your
Okay.
fitness level, and
Okay.
go all out. Now,
Right.
after that time of exercising, you rest.
Yep.
right? And then you go again. So, for example, if I wanted to do an exercise, let's say I warmed up and I want to run in place, right? So running in place would be this, right? Right?
Wow.
Some
so
people running.
those. Yep. You're sliding at the moment, are you? Or you just
Nope.
you're just running on the spot.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's called
okay.
run it now. I could also sprint in place.
Right.
So I could go
place.
from
okay.
here
Yeah.
and I could go as fast as possible. Right?
Wow.
Now,
right.
if you can do that for 30 seconds to a minute, depending on your fitness level, trust me, your heart rate will get up. So
Yeah.
running in place is tremendous, right? Sometimes
that's
I'll
easy
go.
to do. A hotel room.
Of course, yeah.
Probably even
So
do it
right
in the
here.
toilet on the aircraft.
You could do it in a hall. You could do it in a hallway, right? Right
You
between
can do
the
it
seats.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could do. We call it low knees to high knees. So you could go
right.
like this. I'll do a side view. You can
Yeah,
go like this, low,
Yeah. Low knees. Yep.
high,
That's it.
low,
Right. Low.
high.
And then high.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Right. So you're not sprinting, meaning you're not going forward in a track, but you're
Yep.
sprinting in place.
On the spot. Yep.
So that's an
On the spot we call
that's
it in
number
Oz,
one.
but yeah. All right. Good.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Then you could do burpees.
Oh, the good old burpees.
Burpees.
Yeah, you won't be
Now,
doing these
here's
on the
the thing.
aircraft. Yeah.
Sure you can, right in the hallway.
In the hallway again.
Now, let's
yeah.
see if-
Don't mind me.
Now, of course you can't do it, but depending on what kind of flight you're on, right?
Yeah.
How many people are on? So here's the thing.
What sort of aircraft? Yeah.
Mo-
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Most people don't do burpees really well at all. They're
Yeah.
horrible at them.
Right.
And
okay.
and most people when they it's crazy what I see, but a burpee is basically a squat with a push-up to a slight jump off the ground. That's a true burpee.
Right. Okay.
Now, I'm going to do a basic one, and
Yeah.
then I'm going to do a more advanced one. So
Right.
let's say, for example, I'm going to just keep this here so you can see it. So a burpee is basically when you squat down, let's say you put your hands on the floor, or let's say
Yep.
you don't have the flexibility, and
Yep.
you need to use a step, or a bed, or a couch, or a chair. So, for example, if I don't have the flexibility, and I'm in a hotel room and I don't have a step, just squat to here.
Yep.
Right foot, left foot, push up, right foot, left up, stand up. That's as basic, as simple as you can get. Squat,
Right.
1, 2, right?
Yep.
Or squat,
Okay.
that's as simple as you can get.
Right.
Or here, right?
right.
so-
right.
There's no excuse why you can't do that. The key here is this.
Okay.
When you do a burpee, you squat down,
Yeah.
hands here. Now notice, watch my hips.
Oh, the bend,
Good or
the
bad?
big bend thing. Yeah.
No good.
Bend, oh, no good.
But you see it, yeah. So here's the other thing.
You need a straight
When you
plank.
squat, yeah. Squat,
Yeah.
back, strong core.
Yep. Yeah. Strong core.
Push up,
right in
push up
center.
if you want.
Yeah.
Feet forward, good
Yeah.
squat position, stand
Yeah,
up.
and straight up.
That's the next level. Squat, back, push up, forward, stand up. That's a basic burpee. Or now we call a squat thrust. Now
Yeah,
I'm going to do
okay.
a true burpee. Okay, so
Right.
squat, back,
And a little jump. Right. Okay.
right?
There we go. Yep.
Okay.
Got it.
So the key here is most people do this. Watch my feet. Hopefully you can
Yeah.
see this. Tell me, you see my feet?
Yep.
Most people do this. They'll squat down like this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Heels off the ground, knees out. Put hands close, feet
Yeah.
back, collapse, feet forward like this,
Yeah.
and then they'll
Oh,
jump
God.
like this.
Yeah.
Real good.
Right. No. Okay.
Squat
Yep.
here, hands down,
Yep.
feet back strong,
Straight plank.
forward. That if you don't have the flexibility, it's very difficult to do this,
Yeah. Right.
and a lot of people don't. So
Yeah. Okay.
the goal is, if you don't have the flexibility, put your hands here,
On a higher
elevated.
platform.
Bring the
Okay, there we
floor
go.
to you.
You can do it with the chair, maybe.
Yeah, listen, this just depends on each person's flexibility.
Yeah.
So burpees can be good if you do them the right way. Most
Right,
people
okay.
have a difficult time, so they have to learn to adjust. So it's a squat to a push-up or plank, back
Yep.
to a squat, and stand up or jump.
Got it.
That's all a
Okay.
burpee is.
All right.
Now, how hard and how fast you go depends on your core stability, your strength, as well as your cardiovascular. Takes a lot.
Right. Okay.
Great
Yep.
exercise if you do it right. Okay?
It is.
Now, so let's say, so you did your run in place, you did your burpee. Now,
Yeah.
let's say you want to do something called squat touchdowns.
Okay.
Squat touchdown. So feet
Yeah.
together, hands on hips.
Uh-huh.
Right now, again, non-stop. Hands
Right.
on hips, squat, touch the ground. Squat, touch the ground. Squat, touch the ground.
Hey.
Squat, touch the
It's like
ground.
a
See what I'm
fucking
doing?
dance move, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you could also add in a turn, right? Right
Right.
hand, left hand. Right hand, turn. Right hand, left hand. Right hand, turn. Right? Challenge your balance system, right?
Wow.
Now,
Okay.
that's tough too. So you could do that for 30 seconds to a minute, depending
Right.
on your fitness.
Huh.
So you did running in
Okay.
place, burpee, and then squat touchdown. Now,
Right.
you could also do, let's say you want to do 4 exercises
Yep.
in a set, right? And you do 30
Yep.
seconds each. That's how many minutes per round?
30 seconds each.
2 minutes.
Okay.
Right, 2 minutes. 2 minutes of work, right?
Yep.
2 minutes of work.
Right.
So now you do how many rounds of that to get to 20 minutes? 5 rounds.
Wow. 10.
Right?
Hang on. 2
5 to
minutes.
10 rounds. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
here's
5
my
to 10
point.
rounds.
Now,
Yeah.
the last
Okay.
exercise
Yeah.
is mountain climbers. Now, mountain
Okay.
climbers you could do on the ground,
Yeah.
or you could put your hands on a bench, or a bed, or a chair. And
Right.
what you do, you get in your push-up,
Yep.
and you alternate your legs. Now, here's the thing. There's 2 different exercises here: mountain climber and mountain runner.
Right.
Climbing is for me is
Yeah.
both the feet touch the floor at the top and the back. So watch. Notice my front foot's on the ground. Also
Yeah.
my backside, right? And I switch.
Yeah.
Switch.
Right.
That's climbing. This
Right.
is running. That's running. My front foot's
Right.
off the ground. So
Right.
it's different. So you can do mountain climber or mountain runner.
Right.
Does that make sense?
And when did you use
Now,
the furniture
here's the
things?
key.
You just use
Well,
those
if you
furniture.
can't,
Go on.
yeah. If depending on your fitness level,
Yeah.
again, a beginner would have their hands up higher, so they can have
Right.
their hands on a bed,
Yeah.
couch, or a chair,
Right. Okay.
or they could put it. Listen, they could even put them on the bathroom sink. Whatever
Yeah.
you got to do, and then you work your way down gradually to the
Right.
ground. Right. Now, here's the other thing. Most people, their butt is all over the place, so
Yeah.
they'll do a mountain climber like this, right?
Yep. Okay. Yeah. In out, bang.
How about
Yep.
this? Keep your torso steady.
Right. So you're activating your core, right?
Exactly. So the less
Okay.
motion of your hips, the more your core is working.
Right. Okay. Got it.
And it's showing good hip mobility. So when I
Right.
do this,
Yeah.
that's good hip mobility. If I do
Right.
this, that's
Yeah,
not a
no.
lot of good hip mobility.
Yeah,
So the
that's not cool.
key is you want to try to keep that steady, and then get more hip flexibility along with a good core workout and leg work. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
So
So-
those are 4 exercises you could do as, let's say, day 1 at a hotel.
Yep.
Run in place, burpee, squat touchdowns, mountain climbers.
Done.
4 exercises
Yep.
for 20 minutes.
Right. So that's a
And
total
you're
of 20
good.
minutes. Total of 20
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
And you've done
5
each
minute
one of
warm-up.
them. Yeah. 5-minute warm up. Yeah.
20 minutes, 5-minute cool down, you're done in 30 minutes.
30 minutes. You can do that anywhere. You get that amount of space. Hotel room, at home. Some of them you can do on the plane.
Right.
Okay. Now the
Now-
furniture slides. Yeah, these babies.
Watch. Now, you could do your we call them mountain sliders.
Mountain sliders. Here
Mountain
we go.
sliders.
Okay.
So you put the ball of your feet. Tell me if you could see them. Better?
Yes, can. Yep.
Okay, so it's the same as a mountain climber.
Right.
It's a slider now. So we get here in a push-up,
Yeah.
bring one forward, and then we alternate.
Oh, yeah, we're
Just like
sliding
that.
away. Oh, cool.
Just like
Wow.
that.
All right. So core's
Okay.
all stable and activated, and it's just your legs that are doing the work. You're feeling in the butt and the quads, I guess, and the hammies a bit.
Well, it's typically you're working your core, your upper body, and your shoulders and pecs, stability
Right. You're
wise.
holding their stability. Yeah.
Yeah. And then and obviously your hip flexors and your legs as well.
Right.
But the constant motion for 30 to 60 seconds, depending on your fitness level, can be tough. And when you combine them with all the other ones, they could be tough. And it's just great. It's fun. To me, this is fun. Going on a treadmill, there's nothing wrong with it, but for me, it's boring. I like to do different things, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So those are 4 exercises.
All right. That's sweet.
Go ahead. We can do 4 different ones.
Yeah, I bet we can. So just want to summarize it to this point. So we came in and we've got the long and slow distance stuff. So just to give people the statistics, so let's just run this past them again, right? So they've got to work out what percentage of their, so we go 220 minus their age. Let's say for me, it's 52, right? So that leaves us with 168, right?
Yep.
So the 168, and then I'm going, what percentages?
Well, if you're a beginner,
long and slow?
typically it's between, let's say, 50 and 65.
Let's say
50 to
50%.
65%.
All right. So, let's say that's 55. Oh, hang on. What is that? That's about 80. No, 75. No. 79.
No. Whatever.
79.
Let's just say it's 80, 79.
80 to 80 to so 80 to 100, right? Roughly.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
That's probably too easy for most people. So one way to perceive your exertion is through your heart rate. Another way is we call it it's a perceived exertion scale.
Right.
Rate of perceived, and it goes from 0 to 10. 0 is basically, this is nothing. It's very easy, and I'm not out of breath. To 10 means I'm really pushing. I'm really out of breath, and I don't know if I can last any longer. That's the difference. So anywhere in between. So let's say, for example, you were between 4 and 5 as a beginner.
Yeah.
Okay. And then as an intermediate, you're more towards 6 or 7, and then at advanced, more towards 8 to 10. It just depends on where your fitness level is. Does that make sense?
Yep. Okay.
So
we've got so that gives us a perceived sort of effort scale to use versus the heart rate. Like for me, 100 is like way too simple. I will usually be, I think it's still zone 2 for me because I've also been tested on the machines, right? Is around 145 at the max, 130 to 140. I think gives me that long flow sort of area for me, right?
So for you, that's about 75%, 80%, give or take?
It's about 75%. Yeah, I'm going to use the scale. Yeah. All right. But that's like super easy for me. It's like, I'll give you an example. No effort. Yep.
I had a client who was 63 years old, and we easily got her up to 140. Sounds crazy, but she had no problem working out at 140. And think about that. 220 minus 60 years old comes out to what, 160, right?
Yeah.
But she was working out no problem between 140 and 150, 160. So that was almost like, 90% of her maximum heart rate or more. But she had no problem doing it. So this is all very general. It's just very general. So now if you're going to do a high intensity interval training where you're going up high and then back down, most likely your heart rate is going to get up to that higher level, higher percentage. Right. Because if you go all out, let's say you do burpees for 45 seconds and you do them right, your heart rate could get up to about 75 to 85%.
Yeah.
Because when you look at it, when you're done and it says 145 on it, then you're up a higher level. So you have to maybe scale it back and do an easier version. It's all about what does my heart rate say, and I want to bring it up and then bring it back down. So it's very individualized because just because it says 220 minus your age, it's a very general, safe way to go about it.
Right.
Does that
We've
make
got
sense?
here from Steve. Yeah. So Steve has said here, I've had my heart rate above my 220 minus my age predicted MHR during high
Yes.
intensity intervals. So yeah,
Yeah.
going from the long, slowish
No
stuff
question.
where it was like 50 to 65%, we're now talking about the, what is it, the 75 to 85, did you say? For the high intensity?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah?
absolutely.
All right. So
But
someone
see,
does the math
so
on
for
that.
him,
Yeah.
yeah, for him, he had his heart rates so high. But the key is he brought it back down. You could bring it down. When you're doing that, see, MHR is maximum heart rate, okay?
All right, yeah.
There are other formulas to get your maximum and your zone too, but it's just, this is just a very simple basic one. 220 minus your age,
Yep.
and do this 50 to 65% slow and steady, and then 75 to 85, 90% for more of the higher intensity stuff.
For the high intensity stuff.
It's
Okay,
very
now
simple. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get the times right too now. So for the low intensity stuff, right, the long and slow, you're doing that for how long per day, how many days a week?
Studies have shown a minimum of about 20 minutes up to 60 minutes, minimum of 3 times a week.
Minimum 3 times a week. All right. And should you be
Yes.
combining that with the high intensity stuff as well? So then you're doing high intensity on other days?
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
My thing is you have to do strength training. To me, you have to do strength training. It is so key to longevity and youthfulness and testosterone. So here's the key.
Yeah.
If you were to do, let's say you were to do 3 days of strength training and 3 days of cardiovascular fitness, right? So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you did strength training. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, you did some kind of cardiovascular, let's just say.
So you're alternating. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say Tuesdays and Saturdays, you did, in the beginning, you did slow and steady, right?
Yep.
And Thursday, you did a more high intensity interval training. Now you're mixing both. Now you're demanding a little bit of all systems, right? You're getting a little bit of the slow and steady. You're getting some of the high intensity, plus you're doing the strength. Now, you could then reverse that to 2 times a week doing high intensity and 1 time slow and steady.
Right.
So here's the key. If you do high intensity interval training for any length of time, where it's 2 to 3 times a week for a month or two, I'm telling you, you're going to have a health problem. It's very difficult to do high intensity interval training long term. You have to bring in some sort of, because what's going to, if you do it right, it's very difficult on the body. It's very tough.
Right.
And
like
Tabata,
even Tabata for 4 minutes and 10 seconds is still tough, right? 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, and you're going balls to the wall.
Right. Now, think about it. If you don't have an Oura ring, if you don't know your HRV, if you don't have any of these factors, and you're just listening to your body, you're listening to your joints, you're listening to your muscles, the key here is you have to pay attention to what your body's telling you. Number one, you have to listen to your joints, listen to your muscles. Listen, how does your body feel when you wake up? Are you listening and saying, you know what, I need to go a little easier today. I've been doing high intensity interval training for a couple of weeks now. I need to maybe level it off, maybe take a day off, or just go for a good walk, right? If you pay attention and you could become more aware of your body and how it feels, that's probably a huge benefit to you as a person who's just looking to get generally fit and get healthy. A simple 3 days a week of strength training and 2 to 3 days of good cardiovascular work, I think that's one of the best prescriptions, along with what Ann talks about with eating properly, quality sleep.
It's all holistically integrated. You need all of those pillars, right?
Injury prevention, quality nutrition, good night's sleep, managing your hormones, checking out your resting heart rate, moving your body. All these elements, managing your stress, maybe some meditation, some quiet time, be in nature. This is a general good prescription for anybody.
It is.
Who's looking to get fit and healthy. So it's very simple.
I mean, you can't just do one of these things. And if we're talking about, I mean, because we were talking about obviously, supporting your heart and building strength there, but also food. If you're looking to release some fat because you're outside of the other rough measure, the BMI sort of range, and you need to release some weight, then you want to make sure that, I think the people, what is it? A lot of the papers say it's like 70% is due to diet and about 20 to 30% is your physical work that you're doing as far as releasing fat. What's your thoughts on that?
You know what, man? It's just
Yeah, that's a whole different episode.
no. I think here's the thing. I think there's some universal principles. Okay.
Right.
Sometimes science loves itself too much.
Right.
What do I mean by that? Is that typically science sometimes has an agenda. It doesn't always look at all the factors. Here's a simple example. You go on an exercise machine, right? And you put in your age and you put in your weight, and then you do it for 30 minutes. And then what does it tell you? How many calories you burned, right? And you're thinking, oh, I just burned 800 calories. Bullshit. Right. I guarantee you that says who? Based on the computerized numbers and a formula, it doesn't take into anything concerns around what's your body composition, right? It doesn't. It may not even look at your heart rate. It may not have looked at any of the metabolic factors.
What does that mean for people?
That means what's your body fat and what's your lean muscle mass. They never ask those questions. Here's my point: is that when you want to know what's the best formula for burning fat, guarantee you have to eat really, really well. Yeah. And clean as much as possible.
Clean. Yeah. Get rid of the crap.
Manage your sugars, manage your grains, in my opinion, and many others.
Yeah, manage them right out. Anyway, go on.
Move your body every day, or at least 5 to 6 days a week to some capacity. 3 days a week of strength training.
Throughout
2 to 3 days.
The day. Throughout the day.
Strength training. Yeah.
Right. But that's the gym stuff. But the stand up, sit down, walk at lunch, incidental exercise, go up the stairs.
Absolutely.
Keep moving. Keep moving. Right.
If you can do three strength days a week and 2 to 3 cardiovascular oriented days a week, and you eat well and you sleep better, I'm telling you, give it 30 to 60 days, you will feel like a brand new person.
Yeah, and you look like
it's very simple.
Right. So let's run that. So that's 2 to 3 cardio a week, 2 to 3 strength a week. Yeah. Yeah. Is that right? Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because
all right, and go on. In the cardio, in the cardio, HIIT, probably maybe once a week. You're doing HIIT, but for how long? I mean, for a month? Go on.
One time a week if you're a beginner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For about I'll say 10 to 20 minutes, depending on where your level is at.
Yeah.
And then as you get better, you can add a second time, if you'd like, 3 or 4 weeks in. Do 1 time a week to 2 times a week is slow and steady. And then as you you can reverse it. You could then, once you've done, let's say 2 times a week of high intensity interval training, 1 time of slow and steady, listen to your body. Maybe then switch it. Do 2 times a week of low intensity and 1 time a week. This is very general for general fitness.
Absolutely.
This isn't specific to if you're an athlete.
It's a big step for somebody. Yeah. Got it.
Totally.
Okay. Big step for somebody to just do this, right? Okay.
No question.
So, all right. So it looks like we're hitting it 6 times a week. We've got like 3 cardio. We've got 3 strength / power. Power, for those that don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, Maddie, is, moving weights at speed. So you may be lightening the weights, but you're moving them faster versus big, heavy stuff, which is just pure
in general, training. Yeah. Right. Because, there's a benefit to the rep ranges that you work out at. Typically, if you can work out between 4 reps and 15 reps throughout your cycles of training, where you work on true strength, but you also work on some endurance. This is all about general fitness, where you want to incorporate some kind of strength, some muscle endurance, some hypertrophy. You want to where you strengthen bones. You also want to add in some cardiovascular work, where you get your heart and your lungs healthy.
Yep. Some
flexibility within all that too.
Right.
It can be very, very simple, and it can all be done each and every day by being focused and scheduling it in and knowing exactly what you need to do. And I can always help anybody if they want to just PM me and ask me, and I'll work with them, and we can come up with a game plan. And it's very simple. For me, this is all about simplifying your health and your fitness. If we could simplify it, where you get some benefit, you move your body, eat better, and you get some good rest, and you work on your stress management, you could be a brand new person within a very, very short time.
Yeah. So this is it. So because people get so confused with what's required, and then you've got the CrossFitter maniacs that try to drag everybody into a CrossFit type thing. It's right for the right type of phenotype, person, body, shape, experience, etc., but not for everybody. And right here, we're trying to do it for just the normal dudes and dudettes,
Yeah.
right? And some of them that have heavy travel schedules because they're, the white-collar corporate workers, and they're in bloody planes, trains, and automobiles, and they're in hotel rooms. And the great thing is, we didn't move space right where you are in that frame right now, and there was no apparatus apart from those easy to pack, flat to stack. You can buy them off probably wish.com if you want them dirt cheap. These sliding, what do you call them, furniture movers or something? Or
Yep.
Yeah.
The legs of the furniture go on here, and then you slide the furniture.
You slide the furniture around, right?
It's a great it's a great investment.
I've never, and they cost nothing. Buy them on wish.com. So you can pack those in your laptop bag.
Of course.
So, so there's virtually no apparatus.
These are big. They have ones that are
big
half
ones.
this size.
Yeah, I know. I've seen you with the other ones, right? Where you just got your feet to sort of clipped into them almost, or just the tips of your toes. You can still even use those. And of course, you've used the TheraBand in the past as well, right? So
sure,
that's another piece of apparatus. Now for heart strength though, so we went from 30 minutes, so 5 minutes warm up, 5 minutes cool down. We're doing the 40 to 65% of 220 minus your age, low intensity cardio. We've done the high intensity cardio. So just give us the timings on those again, and that's 75 to 85% of the 220 minus your age. For how long?
Maybe even
durations? 90. Maybe even 90. What were the durations?
10 to 24 minutes, depending on if you're new to it, right?
10 to
They've
24.
shown to yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And for example, if you're a beginner and you do 10 to 15 minutes of high intensity interval training work, where let's say you do 4 exercises that I demonstrated, and you do 3 rounds of each, and you're done in 15 minutes, that's a great start.
Right. I mean, not a huge amount of time.
Great.
Do it anywhere. Okay. And then for strength type stuff, now we've got here from Steve. He said, Stephen Head, strength training, non-negotiable. And I know you're pretty passionate about it too. And he's got here Joe Wilder's instinctive training. Do you want to comment on that?
Instinctive training?
Yeah, Joe Wilder. I don't even know who he is.
Oh, Joe Weider? Joe Weider. Yeah. So instinctive training is sort of one of those things where you listen to your body and you do what your body's telling you. Like, for example, here's an example. I had clients in tonight. I had a group of about 7 people, and in a small room, and 3 or 4 of them were sore from Monday's workout, right? So I had to be aware that if they're sore there, I have to adjust. So I had to use so even though I had a plan, I had to adjust to the way they were feeling. So instinctually, I'd say, okay, if I have this plan to go, there's no way they're going to be able to do this plan because they're still sore.
Yeah.
Right. So that's one way of adjusting. It's sort of instinct. So some days I'll want to wake up and I feel really strong and I want to lift heavier. Some days I feel not as strong. Maybe I want to lift a little lighter. Some days I want to go for a run. Some days I want to do instinctual training where I do what my body allows me to do. Maybe it's just a nice walk or a hike. Some days I want to go all out, balls to the wall. Let me go for 20 minutes as hard as possible, doing body weight exercises. So instinctual training is just listening to your body, listening to your instincts. And again, he could correct me. He could say, what he feels. I'm just a huge fan of incorporating a little bit of everything. Some strength, some cardio, some core flexibility. And you're looking at a well-rounded approach that anybody could do every single day. And if they need a day off, take a day off. It's okay. Recuperate, regenerate, listen to your body. And Stephen, if he wants to kind of expand on his instinctual thoughts, that's fine too.
Yeah, please do, Steve. So also for those that, once again, we're sort of connecting this to heart health. I mean, generally any exercise is going to help you with heart health, but here we're trying to sort of focus on it. And for the heavy traveler, or somebody that doesn't have the apparatus, if you want to check with your doctor on, what maximums, they may say, hey, look, don't take it above 145 heartbeats because of some issues that you may have, especially with the high intensity stuff, because you're putting a bit of pressure on. And any advice around that? I mean, if you're feeling faint and whatever else with the high intensity, and you've got a bit of you're managing a heart issue. I mean, what should people do? Just maybe just not do the high intensity. Don't know.
Here's the instinctual training part, right?
Right.
You used instinctual training. You said that your HRV was at a level, and you said, my body's not allowing me to do it today. So here's
it.
If your doctor is telling you because you have high blood pressure or cholesterol or whatever cardiovascular ailment you may or challenge you're dealing with, if they want you and you feel confident about what they're saying, if they want you to go at a more lower intensity, then you do that.
Yep. Yeah. Right.
This is not about a race. This is not, I need to be fit in 3 weeks. This is a lifetime. Let me take it one day at a time, 1 week at a time, 1 month at a time. I don't need to go from here to here. I need to go from here to here to here to here. This is a simple plus consistently and being patient, and you get results.
That's it.
Move your body.
Compounding interest.
Get stronger.
Compounding interest.
Yeah, of course.
All right. You keep building the platform to get bigger on the platform as you go day by day. Don't go balls to the wall at the beginning thinking, oh, it fixed my heart, let's go hard. No. And we've got that so wrong also in the corporate world of going too hard. And, we could go into the don't force things and the woo way side of things, but it's that step by step build. And if it don't feel good, then just stop, slow down, please. So maybe get some advice from your doc as far as how hard you can push it, and then we work within those constraints, and we actually start to build the capacity, right? So
of course,
right. So
most people will over a period of time, they're going to notice that they can handle stresses better as time goes by. When they would go at this pace for this distance over this amount of time, they used to feel this way. But 3 to 4 weeks or 5 weeks into it, that's not that hard anymore. That's your body adapting to that stress, and now you can handle more. So you add a little bit more. It's just like strength training. If you used to do 10 pounds over your head for 8 reps, and now you could do it for 12 to 15 reps, well, you got stronger. Therefore, you need to lift heavier weight. Otherwise, your body will not change. So your you have to put stress on your body to help it adapt and get stronger, get more fit to handle more, and then you get to that point where you work that level up, and then you can back off a little bit. And this is a journey. This is a lifelong fall in love with yourself, be aware of yourself. What do we call spirituality? Is the journey of self-awareness. This is about learning and listening to your body, listen to what it needs, and the more you get in connection with your body, you're going to know what it needs each and every day. You're going to say, you know what, I feel really good today. I'm going to go a little bit harder than I was planning on doing it, because you just feel good. And that's part of the instinctual training as well.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, look, and I know we've got some we mentioned about science and getting the science wrong, and sometimes we can misinterpret the science, and the science is not absolute, and neither is the, I kind of feel this way today. I think an integrative approach like we do with medicine, and I know that we can get on the soapbox about pharma and everything else. There are some great things in their swim lane of where they should be, and that gets taken into account, integrated with all the holistic stuff, which has been too far ignored. To bring in everything, like you said, you've got that whole platform of eating, moving, sleeping, spiritual connection, consistent, simple, day by day. So the other piece then, I just wanted to move to then was, and we won't go now because obviously we've got to land this, but strength exercises and heart health as well. How does it help your heart with doing strength exercises versus a lot of the cardio that we just saw?
Well, a lot of the research is showing that there's been some cardiovascular benefits from doing strength training because of allowing the system to become stronger so it can handle more stress. The key here is this, is that I think there's some benefit. I think both extremes are no good. If all you do is strength, and you never challenge your respiratory system, you never challenge some of your endurance system, I think that's a problem. But I also think it's a problem if all you do is endurance work, right? If you're either extreme, you're going to come up with problems. The endurance problem is repetitive, miles upon miles upon miles of joint stresses on the body.
Got it.
So I always use the analogy. Whether you're a bike rider, a rower, a swimmer, a runner, whatever it is,
Yep.
If you have a small misalignment in your anatomy, in your structure, and I use the analogy of this: if your car, the frame of your car is off just a little bit,
Yeah.
and you start to drive that car miles upon miles upon miles,
Yeah.
the tires are going to wear uneven, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the key here is you have to learn to balance your tires, balance your frame. You need to balance
Right.
your body out too.
Right.
You want to have some strength. You want to do some endurance. You want to do some cardiovascular. You want to do some hypertrophy. You want to eat really well. Even in nutrition, do you just want to be keto? Do you just want to be paleo? Do you just want to be vegan? Do you just want to be a meat eater?
Right.
I think a combination of all these at the right times, and this is all about learning your body, can be a big factor in keeping you healthy, fit, and strong. And that's really what this is about.
You got to mix it up, right? It's like you got to eat the rainbow. You got to eat the rainbow of exercise as well, right?
Yes,
from a bit of strength,
very much so.
To a little bit of the sprinting stuff if you're not going to bust a valve, right? To the long distance, just mixing it all up and keep confusing the body into learning something new. You don't use it, you're going to lose it. So, Matty, now there's one other thing we're going to do before we finish this call, but we're going to land the formal part of the call because I do believe someone's got a birthday that just happened that's been watching. So guess what you and I are going to do? We're going to sing happy birthday.
Holy mackerel. Okay.
Are you ready? All right. So, all right, ready. Okay.
Do I know who it is?
It's a she.
Mm-hmm.
So, starts with an A.
Right.
And,
Yes.
Okay.
I'm shivering.
Not that, so it's Anne Western Murphy had her birthday yesterday. And she celebrated, so she's probably still hungover from all the alcoholic kombucha she drank. So here we go. You ready?
Is she on?
She's on.
Happy birthday.
Birthday
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Come on. Happy birthday, dear Anne.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
To you.
It's Anne Western Murphy saying, not that Anne. Yeah. All righty.
Well,
Maddie,
but here's the cool part. But you're a singer. And you asked me to chime in with some harmonies.
You did. You actually took the high one. I was going to take it. You took it to the high one. We're both up here. Whatever.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
We're both in key. We're both in key. It's all right. All right, man. Hey, look, that's been an awesome show tonight. Sorry about the muck around on the venues and times, but I think there's some great value in here for the for the busy person, whether they're busy at their corporate gig, busy at home, busy wherever, and without apparatus, without the location, you don't need it to be able to exercise, be fit, be able to do some cardio, both anaerobic and aerobic, so the fast and the slow stuff, the long stuff, and don't forget, it's incidental exercise throughout the day. Just keep freaking moving, right? Sit up, stand down, or stand up, sit down, whatever. And strength exercises, which we'll get more into probably in the next episode as well. You're going to take us out? You're going to take us out with something, are you?
Well, no,
what is it? Come on. What's it going to be?
I'm going to tell you. Forget burpees.
Right.
This is as simple as life could be. Okay?
Right.
If you want to this sounds crazy, but I call these get-ups. Or get up, get up, get down. What? So,
get up, get on
exactly.
Up. James Brown. All right.
Little James Brown. If you're on the ground, you're on the ground, right?
Right.
Stand up, go back down. Stand up.
Get on up.
Go back down.
Get on down.
Trust me. You do that for 45 seconds, rest for 45. Do it again for 45 seconds. Rest for 40. Do jumping jacks for 45. Watch. Listen. We call quick jack. Do quick jacks.
Quick jacks. So they are?
Do that for 45. Yeah.
Right.
Have fun with this stuff.
Have fun. Mix it up.
You know what I'm saying? Here's a little one. Watch.
All right.
Watch. Backward crawl, forward crawl. Backward crawl, forward crawl.
Oh, look at that.
Backward
you do that with
crawl.
the kids.
Of course.
That's a good one for the kids. Right.
For anybody. I just showed you 3 exercises. You could go for 30 to 50 seconds, all out, do for 10 to 20 minutes. It's easy. That's hard.
There's your hit training done.
Yeah, trust me,
Awesome.
you'll feel it.
Right, Matty,
Right.
freaking crazy, man. So if anybody wants to contact you directly, they can PM you, yeah?
PM, yeah. You got it.
You know, or myself, we've got an executive program going at the moment, and in fact, Matt is part of that program as well. On doing a posture check and then seeing what sort of exercise routine we're going to put in that's just specific to you, because one size fits one.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
So we make sure it's specified to you, you know, using epigenetic analysis and so on as well. And all the fantastic experience and knowledge that Matt has of, God, you know, 2 to 3 decades worth. So thanks again, Matty. Been a lot of fun, as usual. And remember, Matty, to enjoy life when? Right here, right now.
Right here, right now. Today, this moment.
Right this moment, or tonight, if it's Matty. Today, if you're over here.
Well,
right
it's
now.
dark out now, but that's okay.
Okay, there we go.
Be in the moment. Be present.
Okay, be in the moment. Be present. All right, guys. Heal.me community in the Middle Age Millennial page, which we're doing this FB Live from, and special invitations are going out this week for the Exec.Reset program. Maybe you'll be the lucky person to get an invite, and Matty's in there as well. So we'll catch you on the next one, guys. Tomorrow we have the it's going to be the wildcard entry. Maybe Doc Tester, who's here, he can give us a massive update because he's been Mr. going to the health conferences extraordinaire, Scarlet Pimpernel. We might get Doc Tester, or we might pluck someone out of the crowd, so someone could get lucky again. Oh yeah.
I would love to do like a Zoom, kind of like 3 or 4 people, and just have a great conversation back and forth. That'd be fantastic.
You know what? It was like Anne was saying that, I think too, and I'd love to do it with like 4, and we do a special. We do an invite. We get a bunch of people onto this one because we could have yourself. We could have like Cam McDonald from PH360. We could have Peter Rouse in the house, right? The other PhD. We could have Anne, maybe even Doc Tester if he's around. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to line that up. I think it's been long overdue. So I think it's a good one. Let's work on that one. I'll take the lead on that one. All right, guys. We will see you again tomorrow at 8 p.m. on the East Coast of the US, 10 a.m. if you're here in the East Coast of Australia. Until then.
Live from the Atlantic.
There we go. Bye, guys. Catch you in the next one.
Ciao.